Hey, baby, what's going on? We are back for more at the Absolutely Show. And by we, I mean me and Aiden and you who are listening and or watching. We're a family. I guess I'll be the dad. I'm not saying that I'm your daddy, but I'm saying that I'm like the dad in this situation. Outside in other situations, maybe in your field, you can be the daddy. Okay, I'm not trying to big dog in the first 10 seconds, but I'm just saying, what's up? Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Aiden is, you know what? In this situation, Aiden's also the dad. Me and Aiden are your podcast dads. Yeah, it's not a father-son situation because honestly, if it was, it would be Aiden's the dad, I'm the son. And he's like supporting my dreams and learning how to do all the shit so that I can actually do it. And then all I do is just sit down and be like, oh, what's up? Me and my dad have a podcast. No, but how's it going, Absolutely Nation? We're chilling, man. We're feeling good. The weather's still nice outside. And I don't know. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream, man. We're feeling good over here in the studio because, and hopefully by when this comes out, we will have had a couple more. But we're over here kind of celebrating our first victory over on the old internet, old Instagram. If you're listening to this, then you already know about our boy Brogan, and my goodness, he made us famous. Yeah, baby, big old pop on the IG. It was fun to see, man. A lot of new followers.
Follow the Absolutely Show on Instagram.
My boy, dude, he's always plugging it, man. A lot of followers over there at the Absolutely Show. Thanks for joining on to the old mission. But it was fun, man. We put that story out about the guy I golfed with in Cincinnati, and it popped for whatever reason. And then you start doing the math in your head, and it's like you overanalyze and then therefore paralyze. What am I looking for? Paralysis by overanalysis. That's what I'm looking at. So it's like you don't want to just go out there, and I think that is a trick of the internet, is that you can kind of, try to shove it and make it work and force it, and that's not really how it works. It just kind of popped off. But in looking at why the Brogan one popped off, it did kind of make me laugh, because I was like, oh, well, first off, product's good. Podcast Dad Aiden kills the sound and the visuals, so it looks good, sounds good. It was a funny story, true story. I think people like golf right now, kind of 'tis the season, and I was like, all right, yeah, what else could have led to like the numbers that we saw in this one? And then I started reading the comments, and I was like, there it is. Cool. Because I'd say about 40% of the comments were like, LOL, man, this is great. Good storytelling. Haha, that's me. Haha, I know that guy. And then the rest of them were just like, this guy's a huge bitch. That guy, the guy you're talking about was cool. You're a pussy. And it just made me laugh so hard, dude. I didn't even condemn what he was doing. People were like, and what's wrong with that? And I wanted to comment back and be like, nothing, man. He's just living his life, and I recanted the tale. But yeah, I don't know. Moving forward, I don't know. It's like I'm not smart enough, and I'm also not like vicious enough to like purposefully cultivate that kind of anger in the comments, so hopefully it just keeps happening. I just don't have it in me to be like, what's gonna really piss off half the people and then the other half are gonna like it. I know that's the name of the game. Maybe I'll get a little bit more cold-blooded and a little bit better and wiser in this, but like I just don't have it in me, man. The internet's already such a vicious battleground of just ugliness. And I'm just trying to bring a little levity to it, I guess. That's just kind of who I am as a guy. But that just really made me laugh. That it really, what it was? It was like some of the comments were so angry that I was like, oh, they're on cocaine right now, and that's why they're mad. They think that I'm like talking to them. Oh, it cracked me up, dude. Young brogues. Dude, I was texting my buddy because that was another thing that was popping up in the comments a lot is people were like, I heard this story on Reddit 5 years ago. And I'm like, well, I'm sure it happens a lot. You know, I bet it does happen a lot, man. That's why golf rules is people go out there and do that, you know? But I caught one in the wild in Cincinnati, and I was talking with my buddy who I was playing with. That Brogan joined us, young Spencer D, my boy, my young Desert Spin. And yeah, we were laughing because that happened, I think, last August. And as soon as it happened, we were talking. I go, dude, I'm going to tell that story on a podcast one day. And then it did, and it worked. So that's very cool, man. Just feeling good, baby. Feeling good. My show at the lab went really, really great. It was killer. Packed it out. Show was really good. Hasn't happened yet. I'm manifesting. So that's what that is. That's how we do that, man. Life is good. Baby's still growing. We went and saw it for the first time. That's a geek out. I'll talk more about that maybe later. I don't know. It's kind of all consuming. I don't think that this will be like a baby podcast. I think every podcast from here on out will be slightly a baby podcast just because like every week it's a little different. But yeah, here's something I think might do this as a sketch. I don't know. Try to do this as a bit. But, you know, everybody when you're pregnant, you got that little baby tracking app. You know, you open it up and it's like, congratulations, your baby's 10 weeks. It's the size of a strawberry. And it's growing eyelids today or whatever. It's all these updates. How funny would it be if that just like kept going with your kid for the entire duration of its life? You open it up and it's like, just fast forwards and it's like, you've got a 16-year-old. He's covered in acne and hates you. You know, I don't know, just a little zinger up top, but that's how we're living. I had a really killer weekend last weekend. Truly special, man. Went out with a bunch of comedians and did the activity that I think you might be able to call like maybe the last great thing available in the world. I'm talking about karaoke. Talking about karaoke, man. For those who get it, they already know what I'm talking about. People that don't get it, here's what I don't understand. People who hate it. People who hate karaoke. If you hate karaoke, brother or sister, that is just a projection. You know who you hate? You. You hate yourself. You don't have faith in yourself, or you don't have faith in the people around you to lift you up, because that's what karaoke is. God, I love karaoke, man. It's like, I'm a comic. Bunch of my friends are comedians. I think that we definitely take it for granted that throughout the week, every week, we get a moments where everyone's looking at you and you got the mic, and it does. It's like, you know, I'm not going to go on and on about that, but that's part of the reason why comics do it forever, for the rest of their life, because a moment where you feel seen, you're literally seen and heard. That's all any human being wants, is to be seen and heard, and comedians have it in droves, so much that we take it for granted that it's actually kind of crazy, and most people don't do that. Most people don't go up in front of a crowd and really expose themselves, and that's what karaoke is. It's the average Joe, man. It's everybody gets their moment. All you got to do is have the stones enough to like sign up and go. And you do it, and there's just different variations of it. It's like you got the people who are really, really good, and they're like the studs. And sure, you cheer them on, right? Because they've earned it. They've been coming to that dang karaoke bar for years and years and years, and they're not worried about their moment, because anything in their head, they're kind of a rock star. And you love that. Somebody who, you know, it didn't work out career-wise, or maybe they even didn't give it a shot to try to be a singer or something, but they have accepted a certain level of like joy by just being the best at the karaoke bar. That's sick. I love that. So you give them credit and you watch them, because they've put in the work, you know. They've put in the work at that karaoke bar, and you appreciate that. But the true karaoke is the person who is horrible, who is scared to be up there, and then that's where karaoke rules. when the whole room rallies around them. When the whole room, I love paying attention at karaoke, dude. I love it, man. I'll sit right there, second, third row, not first row, because it's not about you. You know, you don't want to steal their moment. You know, you can't hoot and holler. That's another thing. Sidetrack. You can't steal glory at karaoke too. If you've got somebody up there just busting it down, and it's a great moment, no matter how carried away that you get, you don't start hollering along with them unless they hold the mic out or something like that. You don't steal valor. You don't steal karaoke glory. But God, I love it, dude. Man, I've been like, you know, a little faded at a karaoke bar before, and like cried watching a really ugly person crush karaoke. You know, and not to be judgmental, I'm sorry, but just like objectively a little troll, man. You know, probably life not great. He's there by himself, you know, probably not great. You see a guy, and again, not to be judgy or whatever, but it's like you see this guy, you have an idea what his apartment smells like, because it is an apartment and it's not a house, and he is alone, and it's probably sad, and his job probably sucks, but it's Saturday night, man, and he's out there and he's singing and he's killing it, and everyone's like, yeah, all right. I love that, man. Like, I've just seen so many bars come alive with karaoke. Dude, it's I talk about her all the time. Anna, I've known her for ages and ages. We sang hours of karaoke with each other as friends. But when we first began our little romantic tryst, we went out and we sang karaoke, and I can't remember the name of the song, but it's Celine Dion. It's the one where she goes, baby, 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 when you kiss me like that. Something like that. And when you touch me like that. Something like that. She sang that at a dead bar. Like, when she went up, it was dead. What's it called?
It's all coming back to me.
It's
now.
all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. There were flashes of light. Dude, it's a banger, okay? I saw my baby mama go up in a completely dead bar, and by the end of it, dude, it was like a church. People, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. By the end of it, it's like too long of a karaoke song. That's some more karaoke etiquette, but Anna can get away with it. But it was like a 5-minute song, and dude, by the end of it, there was a table of like middle-aged women who weren't having any fun before, who were standing up, dancing, and like hugging each other with tears in their eyes. Like, it really woke something up in them. And then at that moment, I was like, dang, yeah, that's baby mama right there. I don't know. There are few things that I enjoy more than getting done at a comedy club, whether you're home or on the road, and everyone's kind of looking around. Maybe it's not too late yet. You know, maybe the show got done on time. Maybe the night is young. Maybe the evening is upon us, you know, and everyone's looking around, and then someone just whispers it, or just suggests it. Someone just goes, I don't know, karaoke? It's probably me. Just throw it in the back. Karaoke, what if we should go sing karaoke? Dude, rolling up to a karaoke bar with 5 to 10 comedians, that is truly a special thing to do. You know, and I've seen it go south, okay? Because I think highly of myself and fellow comics as far as, like, what we can bring to the table in a social setting. Not most. It's funny. Comedians are either, like, incredibly socially gifted or the most awkward, uncomfortable person you've ever met in your entire life. But we all come together, sing some yoki. It is truly something. You can walk into a bar with some comics who are down to sing the yoke and go up there and change everybody's night, dude. Change everybody's night. Riffing in between, dude. Pumping everyone up. Because that's the thing. It's like, this isn't too inside baseball. I think it's kind of interesting. It's my number one advice to a young comedian who wants a piece of advice, because outside of just like write as much as you can, get up, hang, whatever, all the weird things that you got to do at the beginning of your career, there's only so much that you can do to get better. Sing karaoke. For real. Sing karaoke, because it's like you have to get over the embarrassment. It's way more embarrassing to go up there and sing Wanted Dead or Alive by John Bon Jovi in a dive bar than it is to go up at an open mic and do 5 minutes where the whole context is everybody's doing 5 minutes, you know? It's like the only you can it's like the only way that you can work on your stage presence, you know? You go up and you got to kill and you can't do anything other than like sing the lyrics of a song. I just love karaoke, man, and I love paying attention to karaoke, and it just brings me so much joy. It brings me so much joy. Someone's up there struggling, dude, bombing. They're all off pitch. Maybe they start late. Maybe it's like, you know, faster than they think it is and they're bombing, but you're just sitting there and you make eye contact with them and you just smile with them. Man. And then they hit it, and then afterwards you give a high five. God, it rules. Man, I love it. Aiden just had to go let somebody into the side door, and it's one of the first times that I've actually been fully alone. No one is in here. It's just me, and I'm talking right now. And thank God he's back, because that was the first time that I've ever just been in the room by myself talking, and I go, I'm an insane person. It feels like you kind of have to be here, man. You're my comfort zone. When you left, I go, oh, wait, no one's here right now. Oh, my God. It's never felt more like, I've never felt more like a pick-me boy than just like in this nice studio with the lights and the camera and like by myself. Oh, that's so funny, dude. Oh, man. Here's something to celebrate, dude. It is down in Kentucky. It's like flood season. It's kind of flood season everywhere, but right now, especially like coming out of the end of February and into March. March has a lot of rain. February, snow melt. There's a lot of water going into the rivers. A lot of places are getting flooded right now. Eastern Kentucky gets ripped every spring pretty much. Down there in Hazard and Pikeville right now, my heart goes out to them. They got rocked. So, you know, hopefully they can continue to piece everything back together and keep it between the lines until next spring. My family, very fortunate. We've got a little farm down in Eastern Kentucky in Richmond. It's awesome. It's a wonderful place. My grandparents bought it in 1997. Just a little patch of land down there, a little Foggy River Farm is what we call it. It is just down at the very, very end of a gravel road. Home to one of the first ferries in the state of Kentucky ever, way back in the day. It's delightful. It's right on the river. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it is just our own little slice of heaven. They got it super cheap because a couple times a year, it's going to flood. It's going to flood, you know. We didn't have, like, crops down there. You know, we planted an orchard. We planted a bunch of walnut trees and cherry trees for the wood. That's kind of like the grandparents or the grandchildren's like retirement plan. Or, you know, we lost a bunch of them because of said weather. But, yeah, growing up down at the farm was just one of the great joys of my life. It was a grandkid farm, you know. They bought it in 97 when I was 7 years old. And then in 98, from 98 until 2006, there was a new grandbaby every year. So they just needed a place to host us, and that was the farm. And they built a little cabin on stilts. It's like way up in the air because of the flooding or whatever. And yeah, just a couple weeks ago, we were sweating it, man. The house floods and everything's totaled at 32 feet, and the water got up to 31 and a half feet. So praise God, baby. We're good. We survived another spring, knock on wood. But the farm just rules. It was a place, like I said, no crops, but all work. We'd go down there. That's really where I learned how to just kind of bust my ass. Like, we'd go down there and, you know, Pop, my grandfather, would have a rock party, which sounds fun, right? But a rock party is just where you go around and you pick up all the rocks on the property because you can't be having rocks. He'd get us down there at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning as little boys and make us move a pile of rocks from here to there. So just 6 hours of just walking back and forth with rocks. Nothing to do, making a job. He'd say you got to teach a kid to work like you got to teach a kid to read and write, you know? That was my pop. We learned all sorts of shit. Build a rock wall, little masonry work, like general construction stuff. We'd build gardens and rock walls and dovecotes and all sorts of stuff. You know, stairs, pergolas, fences. It was a really cool thing to go down, just drive down to a creek with a truck and fill up the back of the truck with a bunch of creek rock and then go back to the property and build a rock wall. What a blessing, you know? It was the coolest thing ever. Some traumatic shit happened down there for sure, no doubt. But overall, I mean, the farm is the best thing ever. I was down there when I was like 14 or 15. I was down at the farm helping my grandfather clean out a shed. And it was about this time of year. It was like spring. The water had gotten up, so everything was muddy. We had a lot of cleaning to do. So we're going down and we're cleaning out this shed, middle of the day, about noon. And I open up the door, and this little baby raccoon is sitting there. Probably about like that big. It's a baby. And it was asleep, and then I woke it up, and it ran out the door. And then my pop, who was a good man, but a strong man, a hard man, interesting cat, really, really interesting cat. This weird, like, blue-collar doctor, you know? Guy was a surgeon, ear, nose, and throat. He put in, like, tubes and took out tonsils and stuff, but, like, a hard man, you know? Grew up in the South, grew up in Arkansas. He was a blue-collar dude who just, like, practiced surgeries on horse heads and shit that he bought, like, for real. An interesting cat. I saw the guy one time, he was up on the roof hammering something, hit himself in the head with the hammer, legit, fully split himself open, went into the house, super glued it, duct taped it, and then came back out, got back out on the roof. That was at like 73 years old. Different beast, man. Different beast. He did the surgery. He did his own circumcision. Or not circumcision. Not on circumcision. That'd be crazy. He was not that talented as a baby. He did his own what I'm talking about. The opposite of what I just did. Getting snipped. Vasectomy. He did his own vasectomy. Yeah, crazy shit. Yeah, bro. Like, he numbed it and then held it and then his buddy snipped it. He was awake when he did it. Truly wild. He did that the night that my Nana got pregnant with their fourth kid, my Aunt Sally. He was like, I gotta call this shit. This is crazy. Four's too many. But I digress. So that's my pop, and we are out cleaning out a shed. I scare this baby raccoon. Baby raccoon runs out the door across the property. My pop says, that raccoon has rabies. We can't have a rabid raccoon on our property. And I go, how do you know it has rabies? And he goes, well, it's awake during the day and it's running around. It has rabies. And I go, okay, that's true, but it was asleep and we scared it and then it ran away. So maybe it doesn't have rabies. Maybe it has bad neighbors, you know? But he would not be deterred. He goes, no, that's a rabid raccoon and we need to kill it. So he goes, go into the house and get the shotgun and get some shotgun shells. And I reluctantly am like, okay, sure, we can do it. I go up there, get into the closet. Thank God, no shotgun shells left. I'm like, I'm off the hook. We're good. This little baby raccoon is now treed. It's up in this tree on our property. You can see it. I walk back out with a big smirk on my face. I'm like, brother, Pop, sorry, no shells left. We got to let that little raccoon be. And he goes, oh, that's not a problem. And then he went under the house and he came back out with a 2-bit axe. An axe. A 2-bit axe. If you don't know what a 2-bit axe is, you know what an axe is. You can picture an axe with the little blade right here. A 2-bit axe is a blade on both sides. So you could like chop down a tree like that if you wanted to, but whatever. A big, sharp, giant axe. And I looked at my pop and I go, what would you like me to do with that, sir? I go, do you want me to cut this tree down so that we can get to this baby raccoon that, by the way, doesn't have rabies, Pop? And he goes, no. He goes, no, I want you to get up in the tree and kill it with this axe. He wanted me to climb up a big tree with a large axe and then chase down an animal that is built for being in trees and slaughter it with an axe. And I'm like, Pub, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I'm sorry. And, he thought I was soft, and compared to him, I was. I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy performed surgery on himself multiple times, by the way. As an old man, he had a mole, and I saw him cut it off himself. Yeah, different guy than I am. So glad that I got influenced by that dude. But I'm looking at him, I'm like, brother, I'm not climbing that tree. I'm not killing that raccoon with this axe. I'm sorry. I'm putting my foot down. It's not happening. And he was really bummed out, but he called Billy Reed. Billy Reed is our neighbor, probably our closest neighbor, besides the girls up on the hill, 3-4 miles away. He was like the king of that holler down there. He had an 8th grade education, couldn't read or write, but he had certification in like 15 trades. He was an electrician, a plumber, he was a farmer, he was a mechanic, he was an engineer. He built his own bridge onto his property. Like, not a little bridge, like 50,000 tons of cement, like rebar. He was an engineer. He was like a genius who couldn't sign a check. Very interesting guy. He did a lot for us. He did a lot for everybody down in that little holler or whatever. So he called Billy Reed. He goes, hey, I got a little problem. I got a raccoon. I got a raccoon in the woods. So Billy goes, no problem. Billy rolls up onto our property, gravel driveway, pulls up in his truck, doesn't even get out of his car, rolls his window down with the crank, out of the window of his car, the biggest handgun you've ever seen in your life, like a Clint Eastwood giant handgun, just explodes this raccoon in the tree and then just drives off. And not going to lie, I was pretty shook up from that. That did a little bit of a number on me, man. But I don't know. The farm's great. I had to old yeller a dog down there. That was crazy. Some of my cousins don't know that. But, yep, Jesse, the first dog down there, I had to take care of that myself. What? Yeah, yep. He was an old dog. We were kind of out in the middle of the nowhere. You either put him in the car and take him into town, and they do it like that, or you dig a hole, give him a couple Big Macs, and then just... Yeah, it was wild. I cried the whole time I was doing it, and then for a while afterwards. And that's another thing that kind of will change a man, But hey, what are you going to do? That's the farm, baby. Go down there for a rock party, a stick party. My Nana, that beautiful lady right there, my Nana, when she passed, her name was Martha Jenkins. And when she passed, in lieu of a funeral down at the farm, we threw what we deemed Martha Palooza. And Martha Palooza was a party. I mean, we got a band. We built a stage. There were probably 300-400 people down there, from old ladies to my friends to people that my mom and aunts and uncle grew up with, all the little cousins. It was great. Threw a huge rager. And it was crazy. At the time, I was like 8 months into comedy, and I emceed the whole thing. And it was a wild experience. Like, coming up, I gave a little speech, cried, everyone was crying, but then also laughing, told some stories, shared some laughs. Pop came up, said, then all of her friends came up and said some stuff. There was a guy, our cousin Lyle, or Jason, was capering about with a little violin. Dude, it was a whole thing, man. Google YouTube Martha Palooza. Check that out. There's a little video that my cousin made up there. There can't be many Martha Palooza videos out there, but go and check that. You can see me. I've got hair in it. It was a beautiful day. It was a good one. My Uncle Phil lived down there for years. He's an interesting cat, dude. He was a wild one, man. That guy lived hard. Vietnam veteran, got honorably discharged while over in Vietnam for, we came to find out years later, being gay. He's gay. He's a gay guy in Vietnam, probably hooked up with the wrong captain, and they kicked him out of the army for it. Then he bounced around Vietnam for a couple years. Fascinating guy, man. He go, honey, honey, hush. I've been in some of the finest prisons on this face of the earth. He was in Vietnam prison. He came back in the States. Guy's a doctor, man. Guy had his PhD. He was a doctor, like a medical doctor over there. He was a medic a Marine medic. And, yeah, came back home. Really kind of a sad tale. I guess ends up on a good arc, but yeah, it was like over here homeless, really struggling. It was back when you literally weren't allowed to be gay, So he was homeless for a while, bounced around. Nana and Pop would take him in. He'd stick around for a couple years, couple months, dip, be out on the streets again, then come back. But bring it back. We bought the farm in 97. That's where Phil lived for the rest of his days. He lived down there with all the dogs. So many dogs down there that we built a cemetery. We've got a pet cemetery down there with dogs and all the cousins' hamsters and goldfish and everything. And Uncle Phil, man, a wild cat, dude. That guy, dude, he lived so, his car had mice. His car had mice in it. He had a car that was so dirty that there were mice in it. And it was a car that worked. He'd like drive it into town to go buy vodka, and like mice would be flying out on the interstate and stuff. Imagine driving down the road, you get a mouse on your windshield, dude. That'd be some damage. That'd be nastier than shooting a raccoon out of a tree. Oh man. Well, I think that's about it, dude. I think we kept the ball in the air for a half hour. Thank you guys for sticking around, man. You know the drill. Please follow the Instagram, Absolute Lee Show over on the gram. Hit the YouTube page, all that good stuff. Tell a friend. Call your mom. All right, Absolute Lee Show. See you next time.